Hey y'all, welcome back to Lay It on the Line. I'm your host Jamila, and for those of you who have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So today on Lay It on the Line, I have two special guests, and we're going to talk about a couple of different things. And the first thing that I want to talk about is our men, our young boys growing up, the judicial system and how it works, how it can impact your life, how it can affect your future, and even we can talk about childhood growing up with having two parents in a household, because a lot of times in the world, a lot of times people think that, oh, the kids that act up, they come from single moms, they come from a single household, they don't have a dad in the picture. So let's go ahead and get into it. We have Mr. Tavares and we have Big Boy right here. So where are you guys from?
I'm here, Houston, Northside, all over.
All over
the North.
All right. So are you parents?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
All right.
Grandparents too.
Grandparents. Okay, Grandpa.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. So, Mr. Tavares, I want to start with you first.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to give everybody a little background about who you are, because we are going to talk about some things that you've had to experience in this lifetime dealing with the law. Career-wise, I know that you are a veteran.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you care to share how old you are?
Yeah,
Tell us anything.
I'm 46. 46 years old. Grew up in a two-parent household. Marvin and Tina, they're both deceased now. Mm-hmm. Great parents. Had great parents.
Yes, you did.
A good mom, hard-working father, both in church.
Mm-hmm. Your daddy was a pastor?
He was a pastor. He was a pastor. Didn't cut you no slack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was one of the reasons I kind of strayed.
You know, I was telling Tony the other day about you. Like, for those you don't know, me and Tavares, we grew up together.
Yes, we did.
And I just want to know, do you remember when we was going to Northland Church and you did something and Reverend Anderson made you come to the pulpit and you had to like confess your sins or something? I just remember you crying, you got in trouble.
I don't know if I remember that, but
I remember that stuck with me.
I remember y'all had hair way down to y'all knees. I remember that. They had some long hair, man.
Yeah, your sister had some long hair too.
Yeah, she did too. And Valente too. All of them. Yeah. I don't know what they was putting in y'all hair back then.
I don't know. Juices and berries.
Nah, I don't remember that, but yeah, he made me stand on aisle 10.
They say the preacher's kids be the ones, you know.
I was one.
So how was it growing up under a pastor and a first lady?
Well, that was later on in life when they became first lady and pastor. Mm-hmm. But just in a church household, man, you was getting up, you was praying off top. And Tina was military, so 5 a.m, you up on a Saturday. You know, you up. Bro will tell you he done been there. You up, she gonna pour water on you. Whoever lived in the house, you gotta get up, you gonna clean, you gonna do what you gotta do. And she instilled that in us. Ain't no eating in your room. You know, the carpet, when she vacuumed the carpet, ain't no walk. Yeah, or you gonna walk. No, you gonna do the lines, but you gonna walk on what's the stuff, bro? The
plastic.
The plastic. The runner.
The runner.
Yeah, you gonna walk on that more the disciplinarian. Marvin was hard, but he was the traditional father that, work, go to church, pull your pants up, no earring. I went and got caught with an earring when I was like 11. Boy, I got beat.
Who took you? You pierced your own ear?
He was 12.
12.
Your brother took you to go get your ear pierced?
Yeah. I was just there watching.
But but it was a great childhood.
So what do you think made you stray?
Man, I had so many homies from all over that was doing what they was doing, and I just wanted to be a part. I was always accepted. I was always looked at like, oh, that was white man. He, that's the preacher's son, but he with
cool.
the business too, though. You know what I'm saying? He cool. He ain't, And so I just took that and ran with it.
So looking at your friends that was of the world or in the street, did they life look glorified to you?
Nah, cause none of them really had shit. Oh, excuse my language, not like
you
that
good.
Until later on, after we start growing up. But from the influential stages, 9, 10, and 11, I just want to be like my cousins. I had my cousin Eric, 6 Mil. He was very influential. He wore all the fancy clothes and you know what I'm saying, in Parker Square, and that was my road dog.
So was he doing legal work?
I don't know what he was doing. I just know he stayed fly.
Okay, and you just wanted to be fly like him.
I wanted to be like my cousin. I was getting my clothes from Sears, you know what I'm saying? The elastic band pants and wieners,
Like
you
the
know what I'm
husky
saying?
clothes.
Yeah, you know, and wieners, you know what I'm saying? Even though I had two parents,
Yeah.
you know, they had bills to pay. So
Yeah.
I wanted to be like the homies, so I dove in head first.
Okay. What about you, big boy? How did you grow up?
Um, it's always, first of all, I want to thank y'all for having us out here today, and just say it's a beautiful thing when somebody's life can change so much that you can sit in front of people that you know and they don't know who the hell you are.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, but she don't remember me, huh? You know,
She don't remember you.
and I'm sitting there thinking that's just how wild I was as a kid. For me, it was say something else, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth, and it wasn't like I ain't talking to you. I don't care who the hell you talking to.
Were you angry?
I was angry because I didn't, I felt like there wasn't any money. I felt like, you know how you don't know how poor you are until you go out and you see other people.
I was telling my mama the other day I didn't realize we was poor till I got to high school.
Right. You know, when we left out of the neighborhood and you go to the mall or something, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, but as long as we were in the neighborhood,
You good.
you know, everything was everything. But I will say this, when no one else will accept you, particularly when you talk about young black men, when no one else will accept you, the streets always will.
Come on.
And the sad thing is, the streets only have hard lessons to teach.
Yeah.
Amen.
They have no soft lessons to teach.
Amen.
So for me, it was, I ran in and out of a lot of different situations and a lot of different bits of trouble. My brother, he went off to the service. Next thing he know, he got a call saying that some things had happened to me. After that, the Lord did give me a good head on my shoulders. And the next thing you know, it was kind of like, you working for the NSA? And I was like, yeah, I got a job with the NSA.
What's NSA? National Security Association?
Nah, it ain't the National Security Association. It's this here. If you say, I think the government is watching me,
Yeah.
I say, absolutely.
Okay, got you.
I went from that. I went to work for the DOD. I went to work for DOJ. And I'll tell anybody in a heartbeat, just getting out of high school was, difficult for me. It wasn't because the work was hard. It was because I felt like if I can go to sleep and still pass your test, it's a waste of my time.
So you was too smart for your own britches.
I wouldn't say I was smart. I would say I could catch on to things quickly.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I was smart. I mean, I say
that's pretty smart
it's
though.
Work. It takes work, but if I look at the Coke bottle, I'm thinking, hey, I gotta fill that Coke bottle. My brother will tell you, I go outside and dig a hole, and he's like, man, what you digging that hole for? I'm finna build a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
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 Talk.
Just because I'm trying to figure out how they do it.
Right.
So it was a blessing for that. But the system does not, when you're looking at the legal system with young black men, people really need to understand that there are very, very few officers, judges, politicians, anybody that's part of that political dynamic that really care for the youth, I should say young black youth or young minority youth in general. Because you start off just getting in trouble at school or something, then you end up in, juvenile, and then you end up in the county jail, then you'll go from that to the penitentiary. And what nobody really pays attention to is that's the same as going from elementary to middle school to high school to college.
It's institutionalized.
Because by the time you get to prison, man, you taking your doctorate. You ready for your, whatever it is you're doing. You have professors in there to teach you. Oh, this is what you did wrong, youngster. Do it this way. They're not teaching you. Oh, you shouldn't have did that. Go sit down. Go learn a skill. That's not what they're doing.
So there's no rehabilitation, basically, to be a better person. It's just how to probably stay out a little longer.
No, it's really about what you really learn is don't rob a gas station when you can rob a bank. If you're gonna take the same risk,
might as well have a bigger reward.
Go ahead
if you
and
get away with it.
Yeah, get it all.
Big reward.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this question. And I made a post on my Facebook page, and I post about a lot of different things. I try to stay up on current news and local news and everything like that. So I reached out for help on social media for my son's brother because he's a sweet kid. He's been getting in trouble. He took a gun to school. He got arrested at school. Now he's like on probation.
That was me.
And I feel like the reason that because he's been taught right, but I feel like the reason that he's doing these things is because like video games make it seem gun violence is cool. They see the rappers on the videos and they hear them rapping about shooting people, killing people, going to jail, robbing people, doing drugs, popping pills. Like, I don't know what's going on in the world, but I feel like it's an attack on our youth, especially our young black men, that makes it look cool to be a criminal a hoodlum, like a heathen, and your parents talk to you about it, that it's wrong, but it's just something right now that's going on and it's becoming very popular to catch a case and to act like, okay, well, I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to be reasonable. You get in my face, like you said, I'm gonna fight you. People not fighting no more. When I was little, we used to fight. Actually, people used to fight up until I was grown, but now nobody's fighting. Everybody's pulling out a gun. So I need you guys to explain, because I want everybody to hear your story, and maybe if you can give some feedback on, it's not cool to go to jail. It's not cool to take somebody's life. It's not cool to put yourself in a situation where somebody can take your life, So if you could give somebody an example of what it's like being that person that has to go to a judge and have to plead your innocence, to describe this is what happened and this is how I had to protect myself and what happened next. Like nobody's rapping about I had to pay all this money on a lawyer.
No, they're not gonna tell you.
They're not talking about like this is stressed out my family. I almost ended up having to look at my kid through a glass window for the rest of their life. So if you had to tell your story and explain what goes on in the judicial system, like when the police show up from their own.
Okay. July 18th, 2021. I was charged with murder of an individual. Sad case. I'm not happy about it. There's no rejoicing on my end, and I still pray every day for forgiveness or for whatever happened. But it was not a murder. Cut and dry. It wasn't a murder. But the situation, like you said, the rappers don't tell you about. First of all, they ain't doing none of this. They ain't busting on nobody. They ain't not fighting. They put up somewhere in Katy, or wherever they at, wherever suburb they at. They not doing this. But anyway, to get back to the premise of the story, I was charged with a crime, and I was charged with it immediately. No investigation. Nobody came and said, "Hey man, that's he said this happened. Let's go check it out." Nothing.
So instantly you were guilty.
Instantly I was guilty. And all this came out in court, of course. Why you see me standing here now, free. But just the fact that I had to deal with it. You sit in that cold jail cell. You don't control the temperature. You don't control what you finna get ready to eat. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where you live at out here. They got somewhere for you in there. You gonna box. So you better come on with it. You're gonna box, you know. And I was in a whole nother county. So it's not like I was here with some homeboys I know from the North or from Fifth Ward or from Greenspoint or wherever, Acres Home. No, I'm in here with some essays. I don't know, you know, where you from? I'm from H-Town. So, someone might give you a pass, maybe they won't.
When it happened, the police came and they took you to jail?
Immediately.
Okay.
I mean, immediately. That's all I can say. It was instantaneous.
And how long did you have to stay when they picked you up and took you to jail?
My people didn't find out that I was gone for like, what, 3 weeks?
So you sat in jail for 3 weeks?
Yeah, like almost a month. So and then, you know, it's COVID. It was COVID time. I ended up catching COVID and had to stay beyond that to post bond. And I got a $250,000 bond off top. $250,000.
So with a $250,000, how much did you have to put down?
That's $25,000 up front.
So you had to come up with $25,000 just to even get out of jail, to wait to go to court to plead your case.
Negative.
No.
Negative. The bond is 10% of whatever they're asking.
Okay.
Right? However, a bail bondsman is going to look at it and say, if you, for capital murder, it's 25 plus my extra because
I'm taking a chance.
You a bigger flight risk.
Right.
So it's not just 25.
So it's even more than that.
Yeah, I just want to set that straight.
So we gonna set that straight for the kids that's watching, or even the grown people that's watching. When you go out there and you get into an altercation, instantly the police can come and get you. They can lock you up, and they can request all this money. So if you didn't have the money that they were asking for, would you have had to sit in there until you went to trial?
And get a bond reduction.
But are those always granted?
No, they're not always granted. I have to thank the Lord. It was the Lord, first of all. That's first and foremost. And if you don't believe in him, you better, after my story. I got a bond. My people came and got me. My beautiful ex-wife, Keisha, she was ride or die. You know, we in the verge of divorce at this time. You know, we had already said we were splitting ways. And she knew I had a lady friend, you know, out of town. But she came and got me, you know, her and my brother and them. Everybody, you know, they did their part. Her aunts, my people, my sister and them, everybody came through, you know, and I was able to bond out. But I still wasn't, that's not it. Because I'm going back to Harris County.
When they bail you out, you had to go to Harris County?
Well, I have to go to Harris County to live. This is where I live.
Okay.
Suburban Northwest Houston. So I'm going there with an ankle monitor on.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're still not free with that because they're monitoring you 24/7. You have bond conditions, and then you got to pay for the ankle monitor. That was $300 a month.
A month? That's a car note. Okay, so what people need to understand when they want to be out here thugging, you get into an altercation. You have to protect yourself, and maybe now you done took somebody. Like the police, they ain't trying to hear nothing. They gonna take you to jail. They gonna give you a bond, and it might be expensive. So if you don't already have money, you already kind of in a bad situation, because it's possible that you could sit in jail all this time, and if you do come up with the money, you still don't get your life back, because now you got this big old ankle monitor. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't as easy to hide.
No.
So now you got to worry about people looking at you, wondering what you did. They judging you. Were you able to keep your job after missing 3 weeks of work?
Yes, I was able to keep my job because, thank God, and it was all God. Because if I had not caught COVID, I wouldn't have had an excuse to miss work.
Gotcha.
God let me catch COVID, and now I can, when I come home, hey, I had COVID, man. Here's the paperwork, and it wasn't a lie.
Right.
I really had COVID. So I was able to keep my job.
Good.
But that's still not it, because my job, I was a supervisor at my entity where I work for through Harris County. When they need me to fill in, now I gotta call this person. Hey man, I need to go to work tonight. You know, I'm gonna be past curfew, and he can grant it or not.
Wow.
You know, so you're talking about
could jeopardize your livelihood.
Exactly. And you're talking about somebody that thought they were on a pinnacle of life. Hey man, I got a nice house over here. I'm driving these kind of cars, bro. I'm doing my thing. But that's nothing, because your life is in the hands of this judge, this magistrate, And this what do you call those people?
Yeah.
The DA. Yeah. Your life is in their hands. You know, and one small mistake, like I've been locked up several times on this one case for things I didn't even do. I didn't even do that, what they said I did. But just because an infraction happens, hey, I went to church. When I got out of church, they was waiting on me.
The police?
Sent me right back.
For a crime that they had already locked you up and you bailed it out on? They put another charge
A violation.
Violation.
For going to church?
For going to church.
Going to church.
So you wasn't supposed to be out your house at a certain time?
No, I was supposed to be out my house at that time. But my bond conditions didn't specifically state he can go to church.
Oh, but you can go to work.
I can go to work. I can go to Popeyes. I can go wherever. But I wasn't able to go to church. So because my bond conditions didn't say I could go to church, then I got locked up behind it. So you're constantly under a microscope. Are we good?
Okay.
No, I'm tripping about what's going on.
Oh,
okay.
I can't believe this shit.
No, it's true. It's true. It's definitely true.
Okay, so how long did this ordeal go down?
3.5 years. Hold on. During this time, this is my testimony, and I want these kids to know this. During this time, I already am dodging bullets, per se, because hey, my job can't really find out about this, man. I'm gonna lose this, and I gotta pay this lawyer. This lawyer ain't tripping. He want his money. He already want a big portion up front, you know. And I just paid tens of thousands of dollars to get out. Now I gotta come up with another 20 bands for him up front, or 10 bands, whatever, 15 bands, whatever it was. That's just up front, and then you still gotta get this man what he want, meet his quota on time. You know, you getting pimped. But it's for a service. But hey, I want my money.
It's for your freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
But all this is happening, and word gets out, not at my job, but word gets out in the street, and I catch another charge.
So what's the next charge for?
Assault with a deadly weapon.
So not for the original case, but another one. Did you assault somebody?
I never was there. Thank God for the ankle monitor.
Okay. So
Thank
somebody
God
just
for
threw
my
that
phone.
out there.
But hold on. But see, here's the problem with that, and just let me throw this out.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
So the problem with that is this. Someone accused him of having assaulted them with a deadly weapon. The police said, oh, we tried to contact you and we couldn't. So they decided to go to his place of employment and arrest him because they put a warrant out for him.
Right.
Okay?
Just because somebody said this person assaulted me.
There was no proof. It was just like I could walk out of y'all house right now and bump my head and say, oh man, they beat me up in there. Police come in here and arrest everybody because I said you beat me up. It wasn't you actually did it. So they came to his place of employment, detained him. His place of employment then says, hey man, we got to look into all this. They decide to release him. Now, Texas is a right to work state, so they can do it. But they did it based on the fact that he was supposedly a bad guy, not on the proof that he was a bad guy. So when they actually find out, hey, they said he did it. What did he do this at? Okay. Again, like you say, thankfully he was on the monitor. They pulled the monitor. He's on the other end of town when this whole thing happened.
46 miles away.
46 miles away.
Sleep.
So if you didn't have the ankle monitor, you'd be going to jail or going to court for
another case.
attempted, what was it, aggravated or
Assault
whatever?
with a deadly weapon.
Assault with a deadly
2
weapon.
F1 felonies. But let me show you how God work. You was done, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you how God work. Now, I get picked up from my job, like he said. This police officer was cool, Metro PD. He said, hey, man, I'm not finna handcuff you and do all that, man. Just get in the truck with me. Just get in the front. We're going to ride off and talk to them. They did. The police were doing their job. So there was a young man, probably, maybe he looked like me, I don't know. But there was a young lady I was dating. So her name is on this particular vehicle. Now, I haven't talked to this woman in 3 years, 3.5 years before this incident. We were done. We were finished. So whoever this young man that's driving her vehicle, maybe her lover, boyfriend, husband, I don't know, is going around flashing guns and doing all kind of malicious shit in the street. So when the police come, they go and investigate, they pull up records. Somehow somebody says, oh no, that was Tavares. He already wanted for a murder out of Bell County. It was him. So shit, what they gonna do?
And then you probably, like you say, look like the guy, so it's easy for them to say, yep, that's him.
I'm pretty sure most women, you know, guys, they got a type.
Right.
But it wasn't me.
Wow.
And thank God. And you know, I have to give it up to it's the 228th court, Harris County. The judge, he kind of knew it was BS. And I have to say this too to Bell County. Even though they had me on a bond for murder, which I did not commit, still God worked through those people because they're the ones that got me out of this. They're the ones that told Harris County it couldn't have been him. They did.
Yeah.
They came, and guess what? You already on bond for a murder. You catch another F1 felony in another county. Them people were supposed to transport me, and hey man,
They should have violated.
You're not supposed to have a gun.
Whatever.
No.
But they found out it was BS, and the people called Harris County, told them let them go, and they dropped the charges.
How did this make you feel when they came up to your job and told you that they were arresting you for something that you obviously knew wasn't
I knew it wasn't me. And I'm already on bond for something that they didn't even investigate. You just threw a charge on me like, here nigga, that's you. Take that.
Did you feel like, okay, they got me because this gonna be even more money, or did you feel like now I gotta come off some more money to prove my innocence?
No, it's our people. This young lady, when she found out that I was on bond for a murder, and you already got somebody out here that's doing things, you know, willfully doing malicious things, I feel like, hey, it was an easy scapegoat. Hey, this dude, I used to mess with him. He's the one.
Wow.
So it was get it off my man and put it on my ex. He's already on bond.
So what advice would you, or what lesson did you learn from that situation, even though it had nothing to do with you, but just being involved with that female, and you're no longer associated with her, and then she dates somebody that is a thug, and then how does it make you feel knowing that she was willing to sacrifice you so her thug boyfriend could get off?
I take it as a blessing and a lesson, because I was moving too fast myself. So God used all these incidents to say, hey man, slow down. Which I had to slow down. Anchor monitor. When this man said I gotta be in, I gotta be in. Well, not no more, thank you Jesus. But when he said I had to be in, I had to be in. So that slowed me down and gave me appreciation for, you know what, the things, getting back to the two parents, the things that Marvin and Tina were telling me, man, they real. God is real. I'm a living testimony. The lies that were spoke on my name, and getting back to my job, I have to interject this, God, forgive me, but I worked at a messy place. Most of it was the dudes that was messy.
Really?
40, 50, 60-year-old men just gossip like women. So I knew that my name was mud. Not from the upper tier of management, but I know people were going to spread all kind of lies and gossip. I knew it was coming, but that made me stronger. So I took it as a lesson, and now that I look back on it, I thank God. I thank God for this experience, because now I can tell Jacoby, now I can tell his little brother, hey man, they got a place for you, bro. Even if you didn't do nothing, they'll hide you.
So what advice would you give the men or the young boys? Because to me, when I hear you say this, I'm like, well, damn, what kind of women were you dating that would do something that's so wretched like that? Like, I'm pretty sure that the type of people that you associate with had a big impact on the situation.
Well,
let me just say this.
okay,
real
go
quick.
ahead, because
So my brother is telling this story, and I do want to back something up. Our folks passed away a few years, you know, it's been some years now, but for my brother, it had a real big effect on him. Each one, you know, when, you know, Cole passed away, that had a big effect on him. You know, he kind of lost balance.
Mhm.
And then when, you know, Sweet Tina passed away, he really just fell off the cliff.
Mhm.
It wasn't even a balancing thing.
Mhm.
He
That's
fell
true.
off the cliff.
That's true.
And people have to realize your emotional connections with people, they are more important than anyone can ever realize.
Mhm.
Particularly when it's your someone that you love, that you know love you.
Mhm.
When something happens and they're gone, you're willing to do anything. You know, if you could get them back, you do whatever it takes. And when you can't get them back, you're just doing whatever because you don't feel like there's anyone that you have to make proud of you.
Right.
Okay. I know when we kind of started into the conversation, you were saying about young men and, you know, the rap and the music and the money and all of that stuff. I think it's real important that as minorities in particular, we start teaching our youth about economics. There's a big difference between having $10,000 on this desk and having $10,000 in a savings account that's a high interest savings where you go to sleep and it's making money.
Mhm.
Right.
See, that's the part that they fail to realize with all these rappers and musicians and stuff. Number one, the money they throw around, that's the money when you see them in 7 years and you're like, he broke, he threw that money around.
Mhm.
Versus you see him in 7 years and you say, man, I remember that dude was supposed to have $100 million. He don't have $100 million no more, but he got two.
Mhm.
Because that was the money that was over in the bank,
Mhm.
still doing something for him.
Mhm.
So he all right as far as we concerned
Just because we see millions.
because we see
But
millions.
he could be way better.
But the truth is, millions don't mean anything anymore.
Mhm.
When you go to the gas pump and it costs you $100 to fill up a damn Civic, $1 million ain't what it used to be because $1,000 ain't what it used to be.
That's right.
Right.
You know, these young guys, and I'm not trying to say anything about young men and women dating and everything, but I'm sorry. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how much work you done had done and said you never did. Your ass ain't going to stake 48 on me the first night. And I'm not flying your ass in from no damn place because I want a date.
No,
Yeah.
that's real talk.
You know?
That's a big thing right now that's going on. But I'm like, I don't know where these women are. They clearly not on the north side because the females that I hang around, they don't have those type of stipulations. And, you know, I just feel, again, the media is pushing this agenda on men and women to make it seem like that's how it is, and it's not.
Well, what is pushed, the agenda that is pushed, and I want you to hear what I want to say, and I really want to hear your thought on it.
Okay.
Because the agenda that is pushing is the agenda that has always been, and we've always had a real thin sheet that covered it, and that's this here. I don't pay. Can I say what I
Say whatever. You lay it on the line.
I don't pay to fuck you. I pay you to leave.
Leave me the fuck alone.
You understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this here. Women right now are making themselves gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. But every man out there that's messing with them is paying for that. Instead of, nah, man, I'm paying, true. And I'm not trying to say a man don't pay. I'm not trying to say a woman don't pay. But what I'm saying is, it's one thing when you saying the price I pay for love, not for sex.
Right.
What we doing right now, everybody is paying for sex. You know, everything you watch is all sex driven.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
It's not, hey, you know, we riding the bus right now, baby, but one of these days we're gonna get us a car. We're gonna save up and get that ride.
So they're not showing the journey.
They're not showing that. All that, and nobody wants to go on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
All the guys want is they want to be able to show the woman that they've already made it, whether they have or haven't. And all the women want to do is take the ride as far as it'll go and get off and get into the next vehicle.
No, that's true.
And that's just, if I'm saying it wrong, correct
No,
me.
I think it's like that for a lot of people.
No, I ain't saying everybody.
Right. I think it's like that for a lot of people, but I think it's because that's how reality TV and social media make it seem.
Because that's the way to make it look.
That's how they make it look. But still, at the end of the day, you still have the women that's going out, going to school, working, busting their butt, hustling, and they getting it all on their own. Because a lot of women that's getting beautified, a man ain't paying for it always. Some women are doing it for themselves. But then you have a handful of men over here that's saying, we don't want no independent woman. We don't want a woman that can do it for herself. But then you have these women that have trusted certain men, and those men have failed them, and they have to do it for themselves. You know, like they have to go to work because they done got with the wrong guy who's not taking care of them. And then that's when you have the woman that's like, well, I don't need a man for nothing. But then you have a man that cares about a woman looking a certain way because it makes him look good. And you have some men that don't care about how a woman looks. He cares about how that woman makes him feel.
Okay.
But the whole thing with that is this. It's nothing wrong with making yourself look good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with you making your partner look good. There's nothing wrong with that. However, beauty is fleeting. You know, if you love somebody and it's because how fine they are, and the only thing you can ever say is how fine somebody is.
Yeah, that's not a good.
That's not love.
Yeah,
because
that's
if they
not.
get in a car wreck and something happen, do you still love them?
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I made this comment before to people. I have a group on Facebook and we talk about all kinds of topics. And I made a statement because I'm all for dating. I'm all for internet dating or whatever. But when a guy comes in my inbox and he be like, "Oh, you fine," to me that makes me feel like you only like me because you like what you see. But I'm an older woman, so what's gonna happen if I gain weight, or if I was younger? What happens if I have a baby and that baby do a number on my body? Some women faces change. So for me, I'm not attracted to a man that comes at me and be like, "Oh, you fine and you this and you that." I know I'm fine. I know I'm pretty. I've been pretty my entire life. That's not, I appreciate the compliment, but that's not going to be something that make me want to be with you, because to me it seems a little shallow. Now, somebody might think I'm shallow because the way that I was raised. You better go in there and make sure that you look good before you step out the house. That's why I have a problem with the Sexy Reds of the world. I think it's tasteless and classless for a woman to be on stage performing with no shoes on her feet. To me, that's dirty. I don't care if you Ashanti and you're the most beautiful woman in the world, you pregnant, but you out there with no shoes on your feet. I have an issue with that, but some people don't have a problem with that. But again, I feel like social media, reality TV is making it seem like all you have to do is have money and you're going to get the woman that you want. So these boys feel like, well, let me go out there and let me rob somebody. By any means, let me sell drugs. Let me go rob somebody. Let me do this. You know, like, where are the older people that are teaching them you can have a less stressful life if you work hard for what you want?
Okay, so
I think with that, and I'm going to stop after this, bro, I promise you.
No, you good.
But I'm going to say this here. My brother will tell you. Okay, my brother will tell you straight out. Growing up, always overweight, thick Coke body glasses, big old afro, and I'm gonna tell you straight out, as I sit here right now today, it still ain't a man on the planet that look better than me.
Right.
And there ain't ever been.
Ain't supposed to.
Yeah. And any woman I've ever been with, even my wife today, she will tell you, he'll tell anybody, you look good because of me.
Yeah, but people treat you according to how you treat yourself.
Exactly.
You have to love you.
Like, I feel like I feel
with
and I know that I'm beautiful, but I have dated men that I know are not on my level, You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't about how they look. I go off of how you treat me and how you make me feel. So when a person treats you good, you don't see them as ugly. You see all the good things in them. And I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, that's real. That's
you know,
real.
people like, oh, she only married him because he had money. No, it had nothing to do with that. It's about how somebody treats you. So we kind of got off topic a little bit. We're going to have to wrap it up.
Okay.
But I want to bring you both back because I want to hear more about your story, because I feel like both of you have something that you can share for our younger generation, even for some of these old cats that's out here. But Tavares, I want to ask you, if you can go back in 1 minute, if you can go back to your younger self, what would you tell your younger self?
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Not that saying I never was myself, but be yourself.
Be yourself.
Influence is nothing.
I feel you.
You are everything.
All right. So our show is sponsored by Who Made Their Visuals and Who Made Their Clothing. I do have an outfit for you right here.
Okay.
When you wear it, I know you're not big on social media, but when you wear it, go ahead and take a picture and just remember us. And I am going to bring you guys back. So for everybody that's watching Lay It on the Line, in our comment sections, if you have specific questions about his case, how it made him feel, what experiences, what he went through, who his lawyer was, or anything that you can ask him that can help you prevent those situations or help your children, please leave those comments in the comment section, and we will be back with a part 2.
Thank you.
Ask them to leave comments for mentors. They need.
Yes. Also, if you need a
always
mentor, we have some mentors right here. Thank you guys for laying it on the line. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank
you for having us.
My
We
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Lay it on the line, talk through our problems. Let's try resolving them. Oh, should we even try? Meet me halfway, and I'll give you time. Oh, lay it on the line, show me your heart, and I'll show you mine. If we want this, if we need this, then let's lay it on the line. Settle down, let's try to talk it out. Let's figure out what all the fuss about. You had your turn, now it's mine. I never heard time and time, yeah. So many thoughts in my head, so many words left unsaid. Baby, I know we're trying, just laying on the line. No, lay it on the line, talk through our problems. Let's try resolving them. Oh, should we even try? Meet me halfway, and I'll give you time. Oh, lay it on the line, show me your heart, and I'll show you mine. If we want this, if we need this, then let's lay it on the line.